What's approaching the supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Let's go ahead and showcase this guy. One of my personal favorites, and because of that, I have him at 89% in my main JP account. I thought about waiting until I max him out in my main JP account, but I'm not quite sure when the last dupe I'm going to be able to pick up, so I went ahead and did it on the private server test. So let's cover the stats a little bit. Honestly, I'm just going to preface this by saying the only reason why I've decided to invest orbs into him is because hands down one of my favorite cards in Dokkan Battle, just because the pure card art design is just badass as hell. I love the artwork on this card particularly, and Perfect Cell is one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball series, so those two reasons I kind of went with the I don't know, sentimental value and collection purposes. I'm definitely going to be maxing this guy out in my JP account. Alright, so leader skills. This guy has all types attack increase of 30%. Super attack is the Solar Kamehameha, causes supreme damage to enemy. Unfortunately, he doesn't have immense damage. But passive skill, he does have attack and defense increase of 40% at the start of the turn. Not too high, a little bit obsolete nowadays, but that's kind of how his passive is set up. He's got a couple of link skills, so let's cover it. Revival adds +2 key. Messenger from the future adds 500 toward attack. Big bad bosses, attack and defense increase of 25% when HP is 80% or below. Kamehameha will increase attack by 2500 when super attack is launched. Attack of the clones will add +1 key. Ultimate life form +2 key, and then fierce battle for attack increase of 15%. He does fall into the Resurrected Warriors category, which I will cover pretty heavily in the next portion. Right now you're seeing the extreme intelligence setup. So here are his stats maxed out. HP is at 14,123, attack is 12,732, and defense is at 10,432. His 12 key multiplier is 140%. So like I said, initially you're going to see him in an extreme intelligence team format. Just kind of give you a comparison of how much better he is on a Resurrected Warrior category because of Angel Golden Frieza's ability to increase attack by 170% versus 120% with these team leads. So we'll go ahead and get into Dokkan mode and see how he does here. So with the critical 2.5 million with type advantage against Super Saiyan 3 Broly, not too bad there. Alright, so we did switch over to the Resurrected Warrior category team setup, so the output should be a little bit better than it was. And I'm going to try and link him up with Kid Buu, the physical version, as much as possible because if HP is 80% or above, he does provide 50% toward attack and defense for all allies, so definitely a pretty good passive there. Also, he does have fierce battle, link skills, and whatnot. So in order to maximize Perfect Cell's output, I'm going to link him up with Kid Buu pretty heavily. And I've also included characters like Metacooler that will increase attack and defense, I think, by 30%, plus a key boost for extreme types. And then the Demon King Piccolo I've obviously included like usual. He does add 25% toward attack as well. I think he provides either +2 or 3 in key as well. So he'll definitely be getting some help from, I guess you could call them support type units in this case. Alright, looks like Kid Buu is partnered up with Perfect Cell, so you'll see pretty decent fluctuation in attack potential. So right around 900,000 here. And yeah, without the critical, he's hitting for about 1.4 million, given the enemy is a little bit weaker than your typical bosses, but we'll see how he does against Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta here. So he's getting quite a bit of boost from Kid Buu and Piccolo, so you're looking at right around 1 million here. With the critical, just short of 1 million, so definitely a respectable output there. And yeah, like I was saying, Perfect Cell is one of my favorite, not only villains, but characters overall in the Dragon Ball universe. So I also do really love the artwork on this particular card. So I don't know, for the longest time, I don't even know how long ago I decided to invest orbs into them, but you know, I've had a goal in my main account, which is in JP, to max this guy out to 100%. So I know I saw a couple comments on people, you know, debating on whether to invest those orbs into him. I'll just go ahead and say, I mean, he's not the best unit to consider, you know, maxing out, but you know, if anyone's like me, I mean, I have specific cards that I max out just because either I really love the card design, or I really love that character, or you know, whatever. But it doesn't come down to the fact that, you know, they're the best units in the game or anything. It's just, you know, personal taste and preference, I guess, what it really comes down to. But in short, I mean, he's not a bad unit to include on this category. He can do decently well. Like I said, there's plenty of cards that are better than him, but you know, I like using him on a team, especially on the virtual or Dokkan Battlefield 2.0. I actually relied on him against, I think, the Android 13 stage. So, I mean, he can definitely tank when need be, because he still gets that 40% toward defense with the passive. But the attack boost of 40% is definitely a little bit lacking. Hopefully, he gets kind of a rebirth at some point in the future, maybe a bigger boost than 40%, but you know, I mean, 1.65 million, you know, is not too bad there. And we'll see how he does against the Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku here. That'll give you more of a realistic expectation as to, you know, how he'll perform on, you know, say the newest Dokkan events and that kind of thing. So without criticals, I mean, he's hitting for about 840,000 against Goku here, and you know, that's pretty good, in all honesty. And like I said, he can defend pretty decently as well. He took about 6,000 in damage there from the super attack, which is really nothing, you know, considering. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely a decent unit to have. Like I said, I do like running him on this category. It's a lot of fun with this guy. I'm sure I'm biased because I'm a big fan of Perfect Cell and this particular unit. So, you know, just kind of make your own decision as to whether it's worth it or not. So unfortunately, even though he is going into Dokkan mode, he's got type disadvantage against Kid Buu here. We'll have to see what happens. Unfortunately, 80% HP is below 80%, so Kid Buu's passive is not going to apply. However, Big Bad Bosses does provide attack and defense increase of 25% if HP is 80% or below. So a little bit of kind of offsetting there, but it won't be quite as high as it could be. Hopefully a critical will activate just so we can get a little bit of good damage. Unfortunately we didn't, but 1 million in damage there against, you know, Kid Buu is not bad. And you know, with the additional attack for another super, he did get a critical for 1 million, so decent output there. Alright, so switching it over to the Ultimate Gohan event, type advantage here. I think HP is probably over 80%. I'm not 100% on that, but we'll have to see here. That was definitely less than that now. So I mean, you know, it's nowhere close to, you know, any of the best units hitting in the game kind of thing, but you know, 1,000,000 with criticals, I mean, it's still a pretty good number, considering how old this unit actually is too. Alright, so about 450k there. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and close it out. And, you know, kind of, this was a showcase for the Intelligence Type Perfect Cell, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video.